Hello and welcome. My name is Meepolis, she, they, and this is Literally Graphic. And today we are doing another DC graphic novels for young adults title. You Brought Me the Ocean by Alex Sanchez, art by Maroh, and letters by Darren Bennett. It was released in 2020. Content notes for dead parents and anti-queer bullying. Picking up this book for my queer graphic novel reading project, and because it was illustrated by the creator behind Blue is the Warmest Color, it's a young adult coming out story which isn't necessarily something that fills me with excitement, but it felt like a pretty solidly gay content from a mainstream middle grade outlet. So that's nice. Your mileage may vary, as this is just in my limited personal experience. According to his website, writer Alex Sanchez was born in Mexico City and is of German, Mexican, and Cuban heritage. He grew up in Texas and is gay. So far, he has published 10 novels, and this is his first foray into graphic novels. A lot of other comics get linked to him on Goodreads, Comics Vine, and even the DC Comics website. But I'm 99.9% sure that this is because people have merged two people, one primarily a writer and the other an artist. I really started questioning myself near the end, but the bio in the book and the writer's website make no mention of also doing covers for DC or drawing at all. This is obviously a huge oversight and really bad. Artist Maroh, as I already mentioned, was also the creator behind Blue is the Warmest Color. Not a favorite for me, but a classic, and you can see my review if you so desire. Looking at Eel's website and running it through Google Translate, Eel's bio starts off, quote, a multidisciplinary nomadic artist and trans feminist activist. Maroh tells stories about modern intimacy and its political facets, end quote. As with a couple of the other DC graphic novels for young adults, there is a list of resources in the back. I also appreciated the opening and closing pages from the writer and illustrator, talking briefly about their own experiences with queerness. According to their listing on the DC fandom website, quote, Darren Bennett is an Eisner Award-nominated designer and letterer. He has also launched a lettering studio called And World Design, end quote. Keywords that felt like they applied include coming of age, desert, superheroes, bio and chosen family, water, sexuality, and self-discovery. The Goodreads description is, quote, Jake Hyde doesn't swim, not since his father drowned. Luckily, he lives in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, which is in the middle of the desert. Yet he yearns for the ocean and is determined to leave his hometown for a college on the coast. But his best friend, Maria, wants nothing more than to make a home in the desert, and Jake's mother encourages him to always play it safe. Yet there's nothing safe about Jake's future, not when he's attracted to Kenny Liu, swim team captain and rebel against conformity, and certainly not when he secretly applies to Miami University. Jake's life begins to outpace his small town's namesake, which doesn't make it any easier to come out to his mom, or Maria, or the world. But Jake is full of secrets, including the strange blue markings on his skin that glow when in contact with water. What power will he find when he searches for his identity, and will he turn his back to the current or dive headfirst into the waves? End quote. Looking at the writing, this is not the best written book I have ever read. It fulfilled many of the stereotypes I hold about the level of writing in these DC graphic novels for young adults, as well as middle grade literature overall. Perhaps unfairly, and I'm sure that there are standouts that break through these stereotypes. But there are reasons I don't rush out to read these books, and it fulfills all of them. It was still better than Under the Moon, a Catwoman tale, which will forever be my rock-bottom expectations for this niche of the DC franchise. That said, it could have used more superhero content. The pacing of the book, as noted by a few other people, seems to be focusing on all the wrong parts of the story. It's a while before we get to at least part of the point, and then it feels like things end before we get true resolution to all these new discoveries. The art, while also not my favorite, is a somewhat more developed style, similar to what Maroh used in Blue is the Warmest Color. I do think that we fall into the trap of having the black hair be much more scribbly and blobbly than the other textures of hair. That said, the drawing style is very expressive and sucked me in. This was a very fast read, looking at the gender and sexuality representation. And to break with almost every other comment I've made on this channel, I actually wish the female character had been taken out. I didn't find her particularly annoying or anything, but it was an unnecessary love triangle. Why does a girl have to be into Jake? It does absolutely zero for the book, but introduce an innocent character to look bad because she's pining after someone who'll never get with her in a million years. And if they had been a couple, then we would have just fallen into the heterosexual couples that have known each other for their entire lives, one true love trope. Otherwise, it was nice to see the characters and their families, for the most part, coming together and take care of each other. Racially, the characters in the book are pretty diverse. Class-wise, it was nice to see some struggle with money. Well, nice is probably the wrong word, but it's annoying for the issues around money being largely ignored across pop culture. It's nice to see working class and poor families being shown in a positive and caring light. And while it was not explored at all, Kenny's dad is shown in a wheelchair. To conclude, I went a bit back and forth on this, but I did end up rating this book at 2 out of 5 stars, although I think plenty of people will enjoy it if middle grade coming out stories are more your thing. Let me know what you thought. Bye y'all, keep reading and resist white supremacy. And as always, Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders, which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, non-Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.